I'd never lie about my sack.
Algorithms are the future. Why do all the work yourself when you could get a computer to do it for you? Until it inevitably runs into issues that harm a variety of developers on your platform and cut their sales in half. That's fun, that's awesome. So apparently since October, Steam's discovery system has been pretty damn broken. For those that don't know, the discovery system on Steam is basically an algorithm that tells you what games you're probably going to enjoy based on your past experiences playing games on your account, what's in your library, that sort of thing. It's usually a good way for developers to get their games out there even after the big release window when they initially launch, that sort of thing. They can still appear on the front page or in search queues, that type of stuff. Or at least it's supposed to work properly, so according to Valve, since October, there's been a bug in the Steam discovery queue that basically only made really popular and large AAA games appear in it, and this has caused a drastic decrease in the amount of sales for a variety of indie developers that relied on the discovery queue to kind of like get noticed and get more sales with people that might be interested in playing their video game. Dean Hall from Rocketworks, developer of the indie game Stationeers, has disclaimed on Twitter, since that bug was implemented, their game sales have dropped to 10% of what they were before, which is pretty drastic, and various other indie developers have exclaimed very similar things happening to their games and their sales since the start of October.
It took Valve until December 4th to directly address the matter and explain exactly what went wrong. They said, on October 5th, we deployed some code to Steam that changed the defaults for our search queries to factor in sales and wishlist activity more than before. This change was meant to fix an issue where customers would search for a game, but that game would be much lower in the search results than other less relevant games. This change had the unintended side effect of de-boosting tags in the More Like This section on a game's store page. What that meant was, instead of seeing products similar to the game, you saw games that shared just one tag in common, but were effectively the most popular games on Steam. This isn't how we wanted that feature to work. On October 9th, to fix the issue, we changed the algorithm for the More Like This section to increase the boost on tag similarity. However, we still kept a part of the change that factored in sales and wishlist popularity. On October 30th, we increased the weighting of tag similarity again based on the results we were seeing. To compound matters, from October 10th to 17th, we were also running an experiment in the same More Like This section to test out a new algorithm, which we hoped would be more effective in showing customers games that we think they would be interested in. This experiment ended up showing fewer products to a subset of customers, which led to a decrease in overall impressions in that area. As a result, overall impressions and views for the More Like This section did show a substantial decrease for about 2 weeks after the initial bug, but traffic recovered around October 19th and has stabilized since. In general, we're always trying to show games to customers that we think they will enjoy no matter who made them, what the budget was when they came out, etc. We're constantly exploring ideas and trying new things to figure out the best ways to do this. The fact is, traffic is still going to shift whenever we do this work. It may go up, it may go down for any individual product, however, not all impressions and views are equal in the end. What matters is that we show customers games they find interesting.
Well, you kind of failed at doing that, didn't ya? Look, yo, I get it. With the amount of games that are getting released on Steam, having people curate everything and make sure everything goes properly isn't feasible at all, so companies do need to rely on algorithms to get some stuff done. But similarly to YouTube, Valve has a habit of not telling people when they're fiddling with stuff, and when developers see a drastic decline in the sales of their games without Valve saying anything, they get understandably worried because it's their livelihood that's being put at risk. And when Valve goes totally silent on the matter and doesn't address it until 2 months later after everything's been fixed, well, that doesn't instill a lot of goodwill from the players on your platform or the developers that are trying to sell their games there. And the effect of this is still being felt right now, as many of the games that were affected by these issues with their algorithm system have still not recovered to the previous sales they were once experiencing. Now, the longer a game is out, of course it's going to see a decrease in sales, but when you drop 90% over the course of a week, that's kind of an issue with the platform and not the developer or the game. And to me, that's a little bit unacceptable, because at that point you're fiddling with people's livelihoods who work very hard to release their products on Steam. The fact is that Valve tinkering around with their little algorithms could potentially put someone out of a job, and they wouldn't even tell you about it until it's too late. And to me, that's a little bit ridiculous. It once again highlights the need for Valve to be posting constant updates, whether it's in the Steamworks group or on their blog post. They need to do more so people know what the hell is going on. Mistakes happen, issues like this pop up, I understand that. I understand the need for algorithms and all this other crap that you have to have on your storefronts. But when you don't say anything about it and developers are left wondering why their games are barely selling a tenth of what they were a month prior, you need to get on top of it. You gotta let people know when you're tinkering around with algorithms. Let people know exactly what you're doing. It doesn't take that long. When you fiddle with something, put a little blog post out there that takes 10 minutes to write saying exactly what you did so people can give you feedback on what's going on. Because if you don't ask for feedback from the people that are selling their games on your platform, how are you gonna get that feedback until 2 months later when it's caused an issue and lost people potentially thousands of dollars? Like, I just feel bad for anyone that was affected by this, and it's gotta be more than just the people that were explaining what happened to their games on Twitter or were talking to PC Gamer or any other journalism website. This has to be affecting hundreds of developers on Steam, and that's completely ridiculous. In my mind, it highlights the need for more competitors and more competition between Steam so they can clean up their act, because honestly, they're being about as consumer-friendly as YouTube at this point. And this is honestly making me a lot more likely to choose to buy games on places like the Epic Store or Discord or anywhere else other than Steam, basically. Because not only are developers getting a bigger cut on these other stores, so it's better for them to sell them there, but they might not have to worry about these algorithms and about robots ruining their lives. And I think security for a lot of developers is much higher on the list than the potential sales on Steam, because let's be honest, the majority of games get drowned out by the huge amount of releases anyways, so it might just be a bit more sustainable to move over to a different market. Anyways, Valve, just like, you know, talk to people and let people know what's going on before you fix it. That way they can understand and wait and maybe even offer help in how to fix these issues. If developers had known this was going on from Valve beforehand, they could have taken action themselves and increased the promotion they were doing for their games, that sort of thing, to hopefully offset at least some of the sales they were losing, but they had no idea what the hell was going on. So that made it a lot more difficult to combat the issue. Yeah, let's just, let's be a lot more upfront with issues and communicate with each other. That's gonna make things a lot easier for everyone involved. But who am I kidding? I'm probably talking to a goddamn robot right now. Beep boop, beep boop. This video's demonetized. I'm just